Hi, I'm Tinos and I'm building an open source robot arm. If you haven't watched my other videos already, check those out for some more context. Last video, I said something along the lines of, now all I have to do is a bunch of designing, making, and breaking things to get to a working prototype. So hopefully next time I see you, there will be a working prototype on my desk. Well, here we are. I know you want to see the new hardware more than you want to see me talking, so I'll start with that and I'll cover the details after. This is a prototype of the first robot joint, which is the one closest to the base of the robot. Joints 1 and 2 are pretty much the same, so this prototype is also a proof of concept for joint 2. This entire assembly is either 3D printed PLA components, including the sheets, or steel fasteners and standoffs. I wanted to get a fit and functional check in early before I ordered a bunch of sheet metal parts. Because of this, I'm not going to push this to its limits, but I'll verify the important bits work. I started with some unloaded speed tests where I ramped up the speed and acceleration gradually. The vibrations visible later on are almost entirely from the body of the actuator and not from the actual transmission, which makes sense because it's mostly 3mm plastic. Even at higher speeds without a mass at the end of the arm, it looked relatively stable, but the speed was quite terrifying. I'll have to do some more destructive testing on the metal version. Next, I did some basic backdrive testing with just one finger to make sure there was decent torque transparency in the system. The results were solid even though this had barely any tuning. Next, I wanted to see how the actuator would respond to small changes in angle while loaded, so I threw on 2.5 pounds at the end of a 35cm aluminum extrusion. I started with 1 degree movements and worked down to about 1/5 of a degree, and I was quite impressed by the results. Here, vibrations are definitely expected because the extrusion is flexible and the actuator isn't mounted well. But what I was mostly looking out for was the actuator sticking due to friction on very small changes in angle, which I didn't observe at all. Now the fun part. I started doing speed tests with the 2.5 pound mass. These tests are live, nothing is sped up here. You can definitely see more of the frame flexing here, and you can even see my desk wobbling. At the end, I also did some small angle movements with the high acceleration and speed settings. Lastly, I performed a power loss brake check with a 2.5 pound weight. I set the actuator at around 90 degrees and then completely turned off the power to the brake and the motor. And you can also hear the actuator's fan turn off. This held up totally fine. Also, it's worth noting that during all of these tests, including the loaded ones, the temperature of the motor never exceeded 28 degrees Celsius. The expected actuator torque is about 3 to 4 times as much as we tested here, but I'm pretty happy with these results. Last video I mentioned that joints 1 and 2 would have a belt stage and a gearbox stage, but since then I realized this isn't actually an optimal setup. I was using planetary gearboxes to keep joints 1 and 2 relatively small, but after looking at dozens of applications for robot arms, I came to the realization that since these two joints are the farthest from the payload, their volume is actually the least important. Making these two joints slightly larger means that I can use timing belts for both reduction stages. Making those joints fully timing belt driven means that there's virtually no backlash as long as the belts are tensioned properly. The assembly is much lighter and slightly cheaper, but also perhaps most important of all is that the timing belts are much easier to source than precision planetary gearboxes. I got these belts from a McMaster car with next day shipping. Timing belts also spread the contact stress across a very large area, so you can get very high torque and super precise positioning without the precision machined gears you need for planetary systems. Of course, this change doesn't come for free. The joints are larger, and perhaps the base of the robot is a bit uglier, but thankfully aesthetics weren't in the initial requirements. Another nice benefit with a timing belt reduction is that there's a bunch of empty space in the middle of the output axis, which is perfect for routing cables internally. This can come in very handy, especially for harsh environments. Let's take a look inside. The assembly has 3 sheets separated by standoffs. The motor controller here on the top right is attached to the top sheet, and the second belt reduction stage is housed here along with the brake, which is on the top left. On the bottom is the belt tensioner, which can be finely tuned from the outside. The shaft running through the brake is the motor shaft, and at the very end is an encoder magnet whose angle is sensed by the motor controller on the top sheet. Lifting sheet 2, this is the bottom section of the actuator. Here we have the motor and the output pulley, which together make the first belt stage, the tensioner, which normally hangs from the middle sheet and can also be adjusted from the outside, a cooling fan for the motor, and the output encoder on the right side. The output encoder allows the actuator to have absolute positioning, which means that no homing sequence is required between uses, and we may also be able to compensate for any deflection in the timing belts under heavy load. I'll be uploading some of the CAD files once the video is up, so make sure to check out the Vertex Robotics website in the description for a GitLab link. I'm already working on a second version of this actuator that's more compact and way more backdrivable, and the sheet metal parts should be coming in soon to replace these 3D printed sheets. I'm mostly trying to get the full robot arm complete, but if this actuator is something you'd be interested in purchasing either as a kit or a tested assembly, let me know in the comments. If there's enough interest, I'll make another video with more pricing details and technical specifications, and I'll start a pre-order batch before the full robot arm is out. Make sure to subscribe!